when it comes to these two very special churches, one of them is the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and the other one is the one you just mentioned, the Church of the Nativity. I think the Holy Sepulchre has a real good claim to being the right location. There's history, there's historical village memory, there's archaeological confirmation. Boy, but the Church of the Nativity, who knows? Who knows? And there were caves, of course, out and about, and the shepherds would keep their sheep in some of these caves. I've been in them. I've been to Bethlehem many times. I've wandered around in the fields, and I've been in caves. And I've been in the Church of the Nativity several times, and I've crawled down into that little grotto. But I'm very skeptical about the Church of the Nativity, and I hope that doesn't disappoint your audience. But the problem is there's just no continuity. There's no connection between that spot and traceable historical memory, the way we have for the other church, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So anyway, the way houses were built, and there's been study on that, it might be on the side of a hill, and underneath is like a garage, is where you keep some animals. You just might only have a cow and a donkey and two sheep, and that's all you have. And you want to protect them from loss or theft or whatever, and so they're closed in. And then there's upstairs, there's more of a house. So it's possible that Joseph and Mary were in not a cave exactly, but they're in the manger area where the animals would be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We kind of tell it like, oh my gosh, they went to Holiday Inn, there was no room in the inn, so they had to sleep out, in a storage shed or something like that. I don't think it's quite like that. They're in the house, they're in a place, and they have some privacy. And they have their own, quarters, as it were. Humble, to be sure. It's not a palace. But a cave, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this cave story, this cave tradition.
And you said there are many caves on the hills of Bethlehem. I've been in those caves too. Is there any evidence that these caves were attached to homes?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the archaeological evidence there. I don't think so. Typically when we do archaeology, it's an area that had been a city or at least a village of something. So there'd be several houses. I'm not aware, other than a fortress or something like that out in the middle of the wilderness, I'm not aware of just a freestanding house out in the field somewhere that has been excavated. So I'm not sure about that. I rather think, instead of being outside the town in a shepherd's hut, the Holy Family were in Bethlehem. They were just in a situation where they were not in a crowded lodging house, but were in fact, with some privacy, where the animals were kept stabled. But it wasn't a big drafty barn. That picture, no, that's not right either.
I've been to Egypt and in some people's homes there, and they live with their animals.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the same idea. That's what I'm talking about. So it wasn't real strange. I did a week of archaeological excavation on the island of Cyprus. And there was an earthquake in the 4th century where a house collapsed. And unfortunately, as far as we know, everyone in the house died. And when it collapsed, the basement where the animal was kept, it collapsed too. And there was the skeletal remains of a donkey, and it had its halter on. There was a chain, and at the end of the chain was a woman's hand. The skeleton of somebody 18, 19 years old was trying to pull the donkey out of this garage, if you want to call it that, stable that was part of the house, and she died in the earthquake. And so we have rather graphic archaeological evidence for this house design that you're talking about.